different skills used by defensemen when they're playing their strong side in the offensive zone, just some different options across the blue line. We'll run through a few different ones here. By no means is this all of them. I had about another 6 clips I had added in here, but it just gets too long with everything in here. So just focused on some of the main ones that I've picked up and seen that are being used quite a bit. So the first one we're going to look at here on this draw is just a D-to-D spread blue line, it's called. So as I let it run here, puck goes up to a lefty on the left side. So guy playing his strong side, and he's got his partner over here. And the partner should be falling back this way to create space between that top winger and himself for a hard pass across. And he's actually sliding backwards and shooting in motion. So he's sliding, calls it, no stick handles, eyes up, gets a shot through. That's very basic, something definitely to work on. This one here, again, Klingberg picks up the puck, and this is kind of where the two different theories collide. Dragging across the blue line or turning and sprinting with it and then getting set up to shoot later. So back years ago when I played and what we were taught, it was generally drag the puck. But what you find is players that drag the puck, if they're standing where Klingberg is here, if they're standing at a standstill and they get that pass, dragging isn't a very efficient, it's not the most efficient way to get to the middle and get around this top forechecker. This top forechecker is coming out to take away the puck. So being able to pull and get into an area for a shot around that forechecker or pull that forechecker's lane this way and throw the puck back to the half wall is pretty important. So just sprinting across the blue line more than dragging it. When I see, sometimes when I'm at the rink and I'll see a young coach working on passing up to their defenseman and they're standing looking at the boards, this defenseman standing looking at the boards right next to them, and then they start doing C cuts backwards. That's not a very efficient movement at all. Defenseman up here should be in motion, should never be standing still. And if you are standing still, you want to pick that puck up and start moving in one motion rather than stopping it and then moving it. Something really good to work on with young players is think of it as one motion, picking up and dragging. Anyway, I'll let it play here. So Klingberg is going heels to the middle crossovers, and then he just pushes his top hand out away from his body for that pass back to the half wall. So effective, ends up in a goal. Pretty much the same play here. Chicago defenseman crossovers backwards and surrounds the puck. I don't know if anybody uses the term surround the puck, but it's fairly common. The puck is here and the player has surrounded it. So he started going backwards and he just pulled his body kind of right around the puck and surrounded it for a shot. Same play here as Klingberg, just fakes a slapper and goes back to the half wall. These ones are pure drags. It's players spinning their heels to the middle of the ice and crossing over or C-cut, skating backwards. So Doughty here, see he can turns his heels to the middle right there, fake shot, crossover, C-cut, and keeps dragging that puck. So it's effective, it works. It's just making sure you have time and space to get off the boards, skating backwards. And kind of the evolution of it here is, so Carlson, right-handed shot playing the right side, picks up that puck. And if you notice his skate that's closest to the middle of the ice, the toe is pointed towards the middle of the ice. So rather than spinning and dragging with your skates going backwards, he's opened his hips, and he's pushing to the middle. So his skates are going across the ice towards his partner rather than dragging. And here he just goes into a heel-to-heel, surrounds that puck, and pass back to the half wall. Missed pass, but the tactic or the skill along the blue line was correct. So another thing generally work on with young players is a quick, deceptive little backhand pass in this. So as you can see here, the puck comes up, Phillips grabs it. He's facing the net right now, does a crossover and turns that foot that's closest to the middle of the ice, turns that into the middle. And that's where, you know, you call it a walk or a sprint or whatever. So dragging is generally when you turn your heels and you're dragging the puck behind you. I used to call it a walk, but when you say walk, young players generally like to walk across the blue line. But if you call it a sprint, and in practices you make sure that it's a sprint, it'll be a habit they have going forward rather than just a slow, non-explosive walk off the blue line there. So he's going across here, and again, any guy in the blue line is just going to take a read on what this forechecker is doing, and he comes across and just chips that puck on the backhand really quickly back. Again, same thing, kind of comes across and just chips it into an area. Being able to have that deceptive little backhand chip, I find really important. You can work on that in practice in numerous drills. And here's kind of the evolution of it. What I see is guys sprinting across the blue line. Larson didn't start from over at the blue line here. He kind of came